That's right, back Charlie, definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, bro. Come on.
You always just have to run that. I've been given like.
Yeah. Okay. Spurs lost. Okay. People deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night to whoever you are, wherever you are, especially to my Arsenal fans. It's shining in North London after what we did to Spurs yesterday. And it was a great week last week, man. You know, Chelsea got put in a package, Spurs got dealt with. They thought our title challenge would crumble, and who knows how it's going, because the sad thing is, as good as this season and last season's been, specifically this season with what, 3, 4, however many games left, it still might not be enough with Manchester City. Pep, just let us hold this one Premier League trophy. You don't need many, man. You probably ain't got enough, you know, for all his accomplishments. He probably ain't got enough space in his house. But on a serious note, it was a big week last week. We dealt with that. We done that. You know, it's been a congested fixture calendar list. We can't rest on past achievements. You know, today, Monday, it means nothing. We need to focus on Bournemouth. And where you lot are concerned in your personal and private lives, appreciative to have you lot tuned in. You know, whether you're on LinkedIn, Twitch, or Twitter, if you're on YouTube, smash the like button and let me know your thoughts in relation to the individual players and what have you. Now, for me, I've kind of exhausted my thoughts. Shameless plug, 8 p.m. I've done a tactical analysis video that will be out for you lot. I've obviously done numerous reaction videos, and big up you lot that was part of my watch along. We've been over it. But, you know, beyond the obvious, now that the emotion and all of that sort of stuff has died down, I've got some more thoughts. Now, as I said, you know, football's crazy. We knew the North London derby was going to have penalties, was going to have mad talking points, was going to be high intensity and high energy. Considering the fixture calendar list, you know, Spurs had 2 weeks off. We had bare games. We've got injuries. We've got a small squad. You know, players are leggy. I'm happy that they've grinded out those results. Happy that we were street smart. Now, I don't think Arsenal can win in the sense of, you know, you could argue Spurs had more possession. They won across many other metrics. But how many times as an Arsenal fan have we had possession, done all of these things, but the only thing that matters is putting the ball in the back of the net and getting 3 points? Any other team that they could, as well as Spurs, if they could say they were a better team than us on the day, that's great. I'll take the 3 points. And I like being there. And it shows that while I think we can go up many gears as a football club, we can play you off the park. If you want to make it open, we can cut you open. And we're very street smart. In many ways, I like the fact that we didn't have to, obviously, we'll get onto that, but we didn't have to be amazing. Spurs presented us with 3 chances. We went 3 goals up. I'm not going to lie, though. It sounds mad, but it felt like going 3 goals up felt like a false image. I can't say our football club didn't deserve it, but it did kind of feel like that. I think on another day, you know, definitely the first 45, our passing, our ball retention, a lot of that stuff has to be better. And again, it goes without saying, we shot ourselves in the foot with David Raya. Obviously, Declan Rice giving away a penalty, not saying it was just them, but we would probably defend him for more than we would have hoped for in the game. And we brought unnecessary pressure on ourselves, really. You know, it didn't happen, but we need to take what went well and make it better, and what obviously went bad for us and take it to the next level, because sometimes we won't get away with that. Had we have bottled a 3-goal lead, it would have been serious problems. And to be fair with you, we've set ourselves high standards to be 3-0 up at half-time, considering how it ended, definitely in that last 10 to 16 minutes plus the 6 minutes of added on time, probably too dramatic. So there was a lot that we needed to do, but obviously it's about results, right? The business end of the season. Spurs can say they were better than us. They dominated us. They presented us with goals. If you say you presented us with goals, what do you think David Raya did? And also Declan Rice, mate. But they can have all of that. I want the 3 points, really. I did feel, you know, the left-hand side, I think Tomiyasu did a good job against Kulusevski. He also had a decent opening exchange, but I think the passing from Tomiyasu weren't quite there. Trossard, it weren't there. You know, collectively, we weren't looking after the ball well enough. Obviously, Kai Havertz, I'm not going to lie, for me, and I'm going to be shameless and make a video, for me, personally, I personally feel that's his best performance in an Arsenal shirt in terms of there's been a while in Kai Havertz's career where, you know, we praise him for what he does off the ball. We say if you watch the games again, you see all of these things. He's doing all of that, but he's having moments. That pass he played for Saka is one of the best assists we've had this season, really. If Odegaard did that, Partey did that, Jorginho did that, anybody else, I'd be waxing lyrical. So big up Kai Havertz for not only scoring, but getting an assist. Would have been lovely if Saka took that chance in the second half to make it 4-0. In fact, there was like an hour on the clock. We was 3-0 up. I would have loved for him to score that. I'm clutching at straws, but I would have loved for that. Do you remember early in the game, Partey's played the ball over the top for Odegaard, and Odegaard's played it to Havertz. He put it in the back and he's offside. Would have loved for that to have been onside. I'm not going to lie, Odegaard's been sick. I think watching the game again, Odegaard could have been a lot better. I think Thomas Partey had a great game, and I think that's his only the second time Thomas Partey has completed 90 minutes for Arsenal Football Club this season. The man's an enigma. Like, the ability's there, the quality's there, but, you know, we do need another midfielder because unfortunately you just can't bet on Thomas Partey and Tomiyasu, funny enough, being fit. I think that was Havertz's best game. As I said, he's got a goal and assist. You know, he's pushed Maddison. He's had some decisive moments. I think for me, Havertz man of the match. I think there were some moments Saliba and Gabriel could have done a lot better, but generally I think watching the game again, our centre halves did well. Obviously, David Raya has to hold his hands up. He did make a glaringly obvious area. 9 times out of 10, he plays that pass to Partey. The one time it don't work, you have to hold it, really. And it's, you know, it's a twofold because you don't want to see mistakes, but mistakes happen in football and in life. In some of you lot in your jobs and me on YouTube, I make mistakes all the time. So it happens. I like the way Raya was playing before that, and I liked his reaction to it. Unfortunately, this season, there's been a couple of occasions that these individual errors have flared up. And in previous years, we lose these games or these games goes left, and we harp on about that being the decisive factor as to why ultimately we didn't win the game. But we got on with it. So for me, in short, make it a bit less dramatic for me anyways, people. But as I said, it's nice to see we grinded out performances. We exploited mistakes. We're very good at set pieces. Tottenham are crap at it. We done that. Can't believe Tottenham fans are asking for a foul with Benjamin White on Vicario. I'm not being funny. He is distracting him. But if that is a foul, him playing with the goalkeeping glove, you're in serious problems and you lot are soft. But, you know, the team's got chickens on the emblem. Would you expect, man? We got the cannons for a reason. But yeah, and people will talk about referees and stuff. And yeah, you know, I think the ref let a bit too much go. Personally, I don't know. I didn't see it, word to Wenger, so I can't comment on it. But for that Declan Rice penalty, he's in plain sight. I don't know why that had to go to VAR. I don't know why he didn't see that. As an Arsenal fan, I don't care about other teams getting done dirty by the ref. We're the boys and girls who cry wolves. Refs do us dirty all the time. It's nice to know that we're just getting on. We're just getting on with it, if I'm honest. You know, control what you can control. If Tottenham Hotspur can sit there and say, away from the refs' decisions, that they gave the best account of themselves defensively in the middle third and offensively, then we can shut up. But they didn't really and truly. And it's nice to know that when we're really good, we can win games. When we're not amazing, which again, when you look past, not looking down on our performance, but when you look away from the euphoria, we weren't at our best. We got the result done. Simple business. We keep it moving, and it was a big week. Our enemies this season have been cheering on that's the closest Spurs have been to beating us, really. Cheering on Eric Dyer and Harry Kane. We've got our enemies supporting any club we play. You know, we've got a fantastic record against the top 6. And to be fair, the last 2 years, that's really improved. But yeah, for me, obviously, in short, happy to get the 3 points. But on another day, want to see us dominate midfield a bit better, create some more clear-cut chances as well as exploiting the opposition, look after the ball a bit better, not make it as dramatic towards the end. Obviously, ball retention and passing, all of that needs to be better. But, you know, it's a North London derby. You're going to be under the cosh. Business end of the season, results-driven business. We got it done. I'd give Kai Havertz man of the match. So I'm all happy with that, if I'm completely honest with you lot. Smash the like button and let me know your thoughts. We're going to go over the transfer news, what Mikel Arteta has said and all of that. Bro, Havertz has taken a big dump on his former club and Spurs, and that's the best way to endear yourself to Arsenal fans. Do I think Kai Havertz is the be-all and end-all? No, but I think he's a good player for the squad, and he can get much game time. I think the striker thing is you still would like a striker. Don't really want to see revision done and suggesting we don't need a forward or better attackers, but Kai Havertz is doing well. Nobody cares that you were bought for 65 million. I've always said, for me, when we lost to Newcastle away last year, and I'm pretty sure West Ham in the League Cup, where I think collectively we're terrible, but he was one of the bright spots. I think that's where his fortunes started to change. And then obviously he's become the go-to man. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. And it's probably been his best week, you know, in my opinion, in an Arsenal shirt. In fact, the last time I actually thought Kai Havertz was ineffective off the top of my head would probably be Bayern Munich away in Germany, which the case could be said for a lot of people. So shout out to Kai Havertz. I said in August when we signed Raya, I didn't think it was necessarily needed, but I hear it. Mikel Arteta, fine margins, crazy scientist, do your thing. Big fan of Timber. Declan Rice is Declan Rice. Where it came to Kai Havertz, and you can go through my vids, I definitely wasn't for it. I didn't see how it gets us closer to City, and I think he's fitted in well, but I still don't see that. But I was prepared to give faith to Mikel Arteta, and he's come a long way from getting charity penalties against, what was it, Bournemouth. Obviously, he had a terrible game a few months ago, you know, in the first part of the season against Fulham at home. He's come a long way, really. And to be fair to Kai Havertz, you know, internally within Arsenal fan base and the footballing world, he was written off before he had the chance. You know, you go back to the Athletic and all those publications, they were saying before he even kicked a professional ball for Arsenal Football Club, he was flop of the season and all of this sort of stuff. So he's doing his thing. He's doing well. You saw in the Spurs game, really, we didn't really come to play football. The one time David Raya kind of played short, he made that mistake with Partey, but we're knocking it to Kai Havertz. He's doing his thing. He drops into midfield. He's obviously an outlet. He does all the other facets well. Obviously, his confidence is high and he's found his goal-scoring touch. Long may it continue. And he's had a big week, massive week, regardless of how the season ends, man. So shout out to Kai Havertz for that one, man. And everybody connected with the football club. It's been a good week. But again, we can't rest on our laurels. Last week is irrelevant, really. You know, we've got 3 games left. Bournemouth is going to be a tough ask, really. Yes, on paper, we should be beating them. But remember Bournemouth last year for one. I can't lie, I can't remember the manager's name of Bournemouth, the Spanish guy, but he's doing good things over there, got a good record. They're picking up points. They've got an attractive team. Obviously, fearless, because if they beat Arsenal, we're first on match of the day, title race over, all of this. If Bournemouth lose to us, it's business as usual. So it's all in our hands or out of our hands. You're hoping City slip, but I don't think City are going to slip. You saw Pep Guardiola's comments. If we draw, we're done for. Them going out of the Champions League. They've got an FA Cup final and they've got a 4-peat potentially to do where the Premier League is concerned. So I just think it's done. And unfortunately, I know you can't win every game and there's obviously been L's and draws and things like that. But you near enough have to be perfect to beat City. The last 2 years, if Manchester City weren't a thing, or better yet, Pep, I think we win. But unfortunately, he's here and it's those 5 margins. And you do look back to, for me, ironically, the North London derby at the Emirates, Newcastle away, definitely West Ham at home. The 2 games against Fulham, fair enough. I'm more angry about Fulham away because there was no positives, but I could accept that in isolation. That's a bad day at the office. Had we have beat them at the Emirates where we shot ourselves in the foot. And there's been other sort of scenarios in that regards. It took us an hour to turn up really and truly against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Now, these results have happened. It's gone. It is what it is. These things happen. But had we have just picked, imagine if we just got 3 more points, 6 more points. I'm dreaming about 9 more points. Imagine the scenario we'd be in. You know, we'd be champions elect, really. And I know as good as this season's been, but Arsenal, I have one ask for you. You know, I like our top 6 records. You defo won at Shite Hart Lane, 3-point lane, whatever you want to refer to it as. But as good as we've been, we're still, you know, the next level is going to Anfield and getting 3 points. That's for next season. Going to the Etihad, keeping a clean sheet, big us up. Next season, can we win there? Fair enough, we didn't do it this year. I know Man United are not doing what those clubs are doing, but that Old Trafford game should scare all Arsenal fans because we don't travel well there, and they've got nothing to do but spoil the party. And generally, it seems like Man United half turn up for the bigger games. So I need to see victory there. Everton, come on, man, just give us the 3 points. You lot on the last day, you know, will be saved from relegation. So yeah, I'm a happy man. Of course, bring the Saka sauce, man. You know, Spurs fans bantered him about the sauce thing. Saka, get the jerk pan out, man. Let's go. Big up yourself, Brenda and Esh. You're always here. Geez, first time here since the North London derby win. It's my first live stream since the derby win. I was going to allow you lot and just let the content marinate. I thought, you got to go live, man. Imagine if Spurs help us by beating City. Bro, they're getting fucked bareback against City. Pardon my French. Like, they're going to bend over for City, man. Like, obviously, you know, you want to see them just win the game for Tottenham Hotspur's sake or give a good account of themselves. But if I was a Spurs fan, like, I would want my team to push for top 4. Emre's running away with it, doing his thing. They're going to get smacked, man. They got nothing to play with. They're going to get smacked, man. They're going to get smacked. They ain't got no heart, man. How's the first of your week been? American Gunner, appreciate you. A bit of an L, taking an L with Company's House and HMRC and all of that. Got the tactical video out for you lot, live with you lot now. Written some content ideas, sent some cold emails, recorded the audio for a Raya video I'm trying to bring out tomorrow. Set the script for one I want to do about Kai Havertz to probably come out. I want to say tomorrow, but probably Wednesday. We will be watching the Champions League together, people, on Tuesday, Wednesday. And I think it's Chelsea Spurs on Thursday. So watch along business, really. So yeah, man, it's been business as usual. Starting the week as I mean to go on, and I hope the same can be said for you lot. Shout out my regulars and moderators, man. Big up DG and the Arsenal boys for showing up and improving the last few months. Amen, man. Do you know what? We're a big club, so it's always a crisis when we don't win league titles, but I always feel it's a bit mad. Like people, I get it. The game's the game. Rival fans don't need to like us, and I don't really care what they have to say. I more look at the punditry and stuff. Like we're going to slip up at times, and I guess this comes with the territory. And I know when we lost to Villa, it come at the wrong time. But everything is all done for now because we've lost to Villa, sort of thing. And I have found that funny this season in that we could win 10 games, we lose one. All the drafts and all the typical rhetoric around our football club and the buzzwords and the preloaded sentences that they've always said about being soft, having no heart, bottlers, this, that, and the third. It's reared its head, really. But you can't win, can you, man? Romero doing UFC. Do you know watching the game again, the funniest thing about Raya making that mistake beyond the obvious, yeah? Why the hell was Romero there? And when you watch the game again, it's actually smart from Romero. He's tried to put an attacking move together. He obviously wants to get his team back into it. And he just gambled and made a run. And on another day, maybe we could have, if we played how we could play, bro, if you look at that second half, Spurs were out of sorts. You know, they played that high line, which we exploited. You can go watch the game again. You can see for Saka's goal or Havertz in general play, we're hanging on the last man's shoulder. We played them, you know, the way we could play them. But if we turn up how we normally do on the ball, I can't lie, there could have been 4s, 5. Well, there was 3s, but 4, 5s and 6s, man. Spurs fans are crying about referee decisions. Okay, let's talk about your captain hitting Odegaard in the private areas. Let's talk about Richarlison, but they can go and deal with the rest, boy. I've seen Saka's leg kicked off by Crystal Palace. You know, I've seen Newcastle Zangos as well, where whatever the PGMO people are come out and say stuff. We didn't get a pen against Aston Villa. The game's the game. I don't give a flying monkeys. Take that up with the ref, really. It's nothing to do with us. And if Arsenal did pay the refs, that's what we got to start doing. It worked for Alex Ferguson. They've had so many soft penalties and dodgy decisions against us over the years. Holding red card, for example. They can cry about that second goal all they want. Tell them again, S. And to be fair, they're crying to the wrong people. We can't change it. We didn't do nothing. You know, they're crying. They got a pen. Like, I must admit, the ref, if you're an Arsenal fan, we need to buy you a pint because you tried to deny them a very obvious pen. And even that, like, that penalty annoyed me because, again, one thing I have liked is we're one of the best defensive sides. We've shown we can do low and mid blocks, think out the joint and whatnot, but we was defending a bit too much. And that it was always written on the stars they were probably going to get a second. So again, major improvement. Stop inviting unnecessary pressure on us because you look at us away from home. Generally, we've turned up, won the game. It's been boring, really. That game was probably more what you'd see at the Emirates in that we've done well at the Emirates, but the games are more filled with drama. But again, 3 points. I'm not going to lie. We probably won't win the league, but I'm proud. I hear that. Let them cry, man. Let them cry, man. Let them cry. Let them cry. Spurs tears. Spurs tears. Thank you. The only thing that matters is how many times you put the ball in the back of the net and keep that same ball out of your own. They can keep the domination and we'll keep the North London Derby W. Like you said there, the winners win, the losers explain. Simple as that, man. It's as simple as that. Like, they can, as I said, as an Arsenal fan, as a Wenger baby, how many times have we had more shots, possession? The game's been in the opposition's half. They've got what matters. More balls in the back of the net, 3 points. As I've obviously follow on TikTok people. I always find it funny. Whenever I upload on TikTok, there's a lot of sour comments. And there was this Spurs fan saying, we were so dominant. Was that? Was this? Was that? I replied. I don't typically reply, but I replied. I said, that's cool. We'll take the 3 points. I'll always take 3 points, man. I'm not into nothing else. But yeah, big up Havertz for that, man. Havertz ain't scoring bangers, let's be real. You never know, man. But he's doing his thing. If we can have Havertz like this, all the existing players doing what they're doing, and obviously inject some more quality in the summer, and for Mikel Arteta, the set-piece coach, and everyone else, take what we've done and what we're known for to a great standard and make us a bit more unpredictable, boy, then we keep doing what we're doing, really. Havertz just silenced all the hate he's received over the entire season within 1 week. Chelsea wanted him off their hands, and Spurs laughed at the signing. What are they saying now? But don't shoot the messenger. And I think Maddison's a better player, but who's had a better season? If anyone's a flop this season, I know it's not Kai Havertz. He's shameless. But because of the low expectations on Kai Havertz from Arsenal fans, let alone the footballing world, and I'm not saying he's the bee's knees and end all and all of that stuff, but could you argue he's signings of the season, especially if we go win a league? Video landing within the next 48 hours, shameless. Again, they had 15 days to do their homework and still failed. I'm not going to lie, banter aside, I do think how Postecoglou kind of played is what I think what we used to do in that You could see that they done their homework. They matched across certain areas, but Spurs don't have the street smartness. You know, they didn't have it. Okay, you could have all the possession and that. You played with fire, you got burnt. If you leave your front door open and there's some nitty that walks past and sees that he can rob your yard, he goes in there and steals your TV. Whose fault is it? You played with fire, you got burnt. That's what we did. I do think, you know, there are some positives Tottenham can take. You know, they had the majority of possession. They made one of the top goal scoring Premier League sides. Probably have to defend and spend periods in our half a lot more than we did, but didn't do their homework. As I said, by the same token, we score a lot of goals. You presented us with opportunities, open on the transition. You know, Maddison's diving in the box, cut you open with a simple 1-2 with Havertz and Saka, giving us set pieces. You know, we're the poster boy for set pieces. But hey, I do think there are some positives. I do think when we was 3-0 up at half time, as I said, I'll take that. But it was a bit of a false image because I think Spurs were doing the thing a bit more. And we, Arsenal fans, let's not lie, like we was mad nervous. Last 10 minutes, I thought the script writers are going to say, you know what, there's another equalizer. But who cares? Ref should have taken off Davies, to be honest, but get on with it. Good day, brother. Raya is not the goalkeeper. We need to upgrade on him. I mean, anytime you make a mistake like that, that's going to happen. And I don't want to ruin the content to come out, but you look at Ramsdale's mistake against Brentford, right? And then you look at Raya's, obviously 24 hours ago. I really have nothing to base this off, but considering the context and the high pressures, we know Ramsdale thrives when it's ADHD settings. He's called into action. You know, that very fixture last year, as much as it was one-way traffic, he saved us. I think against Spurs, the Raya mistake, Ramsdale don't make that. But against Brentford, where Ramsdale's made that mistake, where it's not really one of those games, I don't think Raya does that. I do like Raya. I don't want to ruin the content. I want you lot to watch it, but the modern day goalkeeper stuff, all of that possession stuff, Raya's got. Traditional goalkeeping, I have some question marks over Raya. I believe in him. I think on a large part, he's done well. The whole team has to, you know, be applauded for how we've defended. And he is defending less because we've got better, or having to save less because we've got better. But he's chasing the goalkeeping glove. He's got frailties. Of course, he's got mistakes. But I think Raya's worked out. But there is a reality or a genuine question mark. Is Ramsdale, well, Ramsdale's days are numbered, but you've got, some people might be Team Ramsdale, Team Raya. Let's not act like everybody was Team Ramsdale. He had plenty of critics, and I don't think everyone's convinced on Raya. There's a reality that neither might not. They could do a thing. You know, Ramsdale helped us get to this kind of stage before Raya came in. If Raya could stay here for a couple of years, if there is that Alisson or that Edison, I say Edison because I think he's more closely aligned to Raya than Alisson, even though Alisson's made mistakes in that. Edison's the ultimate kind of modern day goalkeeper. And I do think, to be fair, obviously, Raya shouldn't have made that mistake. But when you're playing out from the back, that is going to happen a couple of occasions across the season. It happens, really. You know, Raya's game is based on calculated risk. Obviously, the calculations were off. 9 times out of 10, I think he makes that pass, you know. Again, you lot would have seen for my video, my watch along, while that is happening, I actually said, play the pass to Partey. 9 times out of 10, he could do it. Now he has to hold his hands up. And to be fair, again, when you look back at the first half, and then obviously I couldn't have predicted a Raya mistake or anything like that, people. But when you look at how sloppy we were on the ball initially and stuff like that, it's probably written in the stars that something of that nature was going to happen, really. Richarlison arguably should have been sent off himself, trying to assassinate his Brazilian friend for the love of the derby. I'm not going to lie, I respect it from Richarlison because that's what I want to see. Forget all that friend stuff. Gabriel, I'm sure you're in the same social circles. Deal with him when you need to deal with him. Not saying Raya is the Alisson keeper needed, but still, if you can do that, then do it. I hear that. Havertz has made me think a project striker can work if an elite winger, left centre mid and defender come in. I mean, if you can get me that striker that's proven right now to deliver, that would be my first choice. If you could bring me a Sesko and them kind of guys and Havertz keeps doing what he's doing, fair play. I do think, though, for me, the first priority, and it sounds mad, but for me, I need central midfield. Partey, there has to be listen, you give us a lot in it. Partey give us a lot. But how many games we seen Partey play 90 minutes? 2. How many times we seen him this season? We don't really. We need to address that midfield. You know, big up Havertz, he's doing his thing. I still think we need a striker because while we've been scoring goals for fun, let's not kid ourselves. There's been occasions where we just need someone that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. I think I speak for everyone where Bukayo, Saka and Martinelli need someone that can deputize for them / provide competition / I just think we need a winger with a bit of pace to inject that sort of stuff. And there has been rumors about defensive reinforcements. I guess we could do with some defensive reinforcements. Probably need a backup goalie because Ramsdale's going to cut. And then it's down to whatever you never know what Mikel Arteta is doing. We can't do the revisionism to me. I can't say that word, but we can't do that, bro. Like, but that's the thing with fans. That's what they do. You know, a week is a long time in football, so I don't blame fans when they make crazy opinions based on such people. You know, with how many months we're at that, well, we're basically approaching, and happy May in advance, people. So yeah, man, keep your questions coming, hit the like button and whatnot. I honestly believe that centre mid is a bigger need for Arsenal than striker. What isn't Kai giving us that we need of a striker? Big up the super chat, and that's what I kind of said. I think I don't naturally believe it, but if you could say a striker that's giving me 20 goals or a proper number 8, I would probably lean towards the centre midfielder, people. But at the same time, I think they're both of the same need. And Kai's giving us a lot. Kai, obviously, right now, he's scoring goals. He's doing his thing. He's doing the multifunctional stuff. But I think we need a striker. Kai's in a great patch of form. Take nothing away from him. And I'm not trying to put players against each other. But I expect you to do that. Kai Havertz is a multifunctional player, the same way Trossard is when he plays as a 9, the same way Jesus is. The only one that can't do all of that or affect the game when he's not necessarily scoring is Eddie Nketiah, essentially. Then you are right in theory, but I think we just need someone that's born to score goals. I like Kai Havertz's patch of form. I hope this goal scoring element is going to be on a prolonged basis, not just of what's left of this season, but next year. But I do think we need a natural goal scorer. Arsenal impressing DG, but OT the real litmus test. But if we win at Old Trafford, then I'm like, all right, cool. Centre mid is a priority, but we can do better than Eddie and Kai. Kai's cool, man. Kai's cool. But I would like a striker. Had Gabriel Jesus had 100% fitness up until now, I argue we would have had the same, if not more goals than Havertz. There's no need to hate Kai. I love him, but he's not the striker we need. Again, Kai, part of the squad. Jesus, part of the squad. But you're not goal scorers like that. You know, I do think we need to keep doing these things like you're seeing with Kai and to a degree Trossard, even though they weren't great in the start at Spurs. When players get into a real good patch of form, you need to play on that, really. But if we could have that and a striker, different tools, you know, it'd be lit, because there has been a few occasions, you know, Liverpool in the FA Cup, West Ham at home, and you slyly even Bayern Munich. There was just a striker that's just you score goals. I think that would be helpful. Whether that's a project guy or a household name, I don't know, people. Did anyone see Ben White try to open the goalkeeper's gloves when he had a corner kick? Yeah, I did. But, I mean, come on, if that's a foul, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say this. I benefit as an Arsenal fan, but if someone was doing that to David Raya and we was complaining it's a foul, I'm sorry, but, you know, pardon my language and for sounding outdated, but pull your pants up and man up, man. Like, you can't be saying that's a foul. I know keepers are a protected, you know, entity, but come on, bro. Man's playing with Velcro, bro. Like, come on. It ain't affected you. It ain't affected you. And either way, even if it didn't, Højbjerg, you know, you must be an Arsenal fan on the slide because you're playing like you hate Spurs. Like, so it is what it is. DJ, I wouldn't mind Guehi, but is he a good backup for Saliba or Gabriel? I'd rather Militao we won't get Militao. He'd be good at right back as well, man. But yeah. And Jesus, I don't know who would score more goals out of Havertz than Jesus. I would have probably said Jesus, but again, recency bias. If you both play 10 games, I'll probably back Kai to bag a bit more, man. Just because Kai wants to get in the box. Obviously, Kai's going to score a few headers because he's tall, but Kai gets in the box. Jesus ain't really interested in that unless it's the Brazilians. Pardon me, Guehi would be lit, but I don't doubt that we want Diamandi, and if Arteta wants a centre-back who is levels to really trouble Gabriel and Saliba, if there's any slip-ups, they can play ahead of you, I'm all for that. You know, the only thing better than having 2 quality centre-backs and a great duo would be having 3 in it, but when you look at the fee that Guehi's going to command, the fee, and I know Diamandi can play right back, whether he's going to play ahead of Benjamin White's another thing, but you look at the fees of them guys, when we've been linked with Deluded, Diamandi, Guehi, it's like 50 million upwards. And again, 50 million in today's day and age. I definitely ain't got 50 million, but it's like the new 20. Are we really going to spend that on someone that isn't genuine? And again, we need a squad, but someone that isn't genuinely going to ask some real questions of Benjamin White, Saliba or Gabriel, whether they play fullback or centre-half. I don't know. There is news coming out that Guehi's linked with Arsenal, and there's been some links that he wants to cut in the summer. I wonder what it means for Crystal Palace because they have got a new manager. They are playing good football. You can't, you know, to lose 2 or anything from 1 to 3 of Guehi, Elise, Eze, boy, it's a difficult one. Rashford on the market, DG, would he start ahead of Havertz? No, I don't think, not through the middle, because he can't play. Like, Havertz's general play and footballing IQ is way better than Marcus Rashford's. Of course, you know, Marcus Rashford, as an Arsenal fan, I've seen him do up Benjamin White. I've seen him score some great finishes where he done up Partey. But Havertz has a brain. Rashford is just like, his footballing IQ, in my opinion, has not improved. significantly since when he bursted on the scene. He finds himself exclusively playing left wing because you can't play with your back to goal because your general plays poor. You know, Rashford he will score more goals. Then I'd back him to score more goals than Havertz. But Havertz's footballing IQ is a lot better than his. So yeah, I think if Rashford, you know, if Arteta wanted it, great. But 300 grand a week, 26 years of age. I like Rashford. I'm having Rashford, but it's more like the illusion rather than what it is. I don't care what you get paid, but 300 grand a week. Do you necessarily make Arsenal better? Are you clear of Martinelli? Probably not. Would you perform better than Trossard? Probably not. You know, the Rashford that even when he scored 20-odd league goals, he's looked booky. Like, would I rather play Jesus over him? They're probably more likely to affect the game. And Rashford, I think we've got enough of these project players. If Arteta wants it, get it done. But, you know, and every player in theory is a project. But I think we're doing this Kai Havertz thing. That's us now. Let's get some players that are a bit more rounded. I just don't think it makes sense to sign Marcus Rashford because we don't know what we're getting. You know, the raw foundation he has and the, you know, what Mikel Arteta could get out of him, that sounds great. But in reality, I don't know. Maybe a change of environment is required. And again, he's on 300 grand a week. He's probably going to want that again. And, you know, especially if Man United sell him to Arsenal, I don't know his length of his contract, but they're probably going to want a significant fee. Is it value for money? Arteta has shown they'll make unpopular decisions. You know, no one was saying 65 million for Havertz was value for money. But yeah, man, Raya should see that gone long. He's aerial winner. I'm not sure what you mean there, but I hear that. Havertz and Szoboszlai looking like a Space Jam movie the way Liverpool fans hyped him. But hey, Gravenberch is looking spooky as well, man. Raya made a mistake. Rice made a mistake. Please, Arsenal fans, stop being so overreactionary. Kai ghosted for us against Bayern. He ghosted because we played the wrong way. I hear that, but you might not have just turned up. No disrespect, but we still need that number 9. I'm with that. I like Maddison, but he's not on nothing, man. He's not on nothing. And Saka, I need Saka to be a villain because you should have done the dart thing. You should have sent for Maddison. You know, Maddison's probably turned up 3-4 times this season. When he turned up in the Emirates, he wouldn't stop talking. He was moving like one of them OnlyFans gal that's been chatting to a celeb. Wouldn't stop interviewing. Where is he now? Maddison's a fantastic player, but he's at the right club. Again, rumors, you know, I live not far from the Spurs ground. He might be rolling on the floor near Chicken. What a pretender. Arsenal always doing a mistake in the Spurs games, but we still manage wins. It's written in the North London Derby script, man. Yo, DG, not sure why so many rival fans have an issue with Kai's Twitter post rattling so many people. I mean, the game's the game, innit? Agendas have to agenda, but I like that AI thing from Kai Havertz, man. And for me, it's nice to see Kai Havertz in a nice way. He's a shadow of his former self, specifically when he signed at Arsenal. He didn't always look confident. And I think as the season's gone on, he's got a bit more confidence and he looks a lot more comfortable. Like, I think he really started to feel comfortable when we lost to Newcastle away and West Ham in the League Cup. Since then, he's now starting to show up. You're not just fitting in, you're standing out. You're having some significant moments and the fans are getting behind him, man. City came to the Emirates last season and gave away possession and beat us 3-1. Possession doesn't win you games. There you have it. There you have it. James, a lie, man. Big up Jess, man. Big up Jess. Big up Jess. Might pattern for Thursday, man. Might pattern for Thursday. You don't get onto it. She unfollowed me on Twitter. It's crazy. Do you take about we need to get our own Alisson type of goalkeeper? Why not the man himself? I mean, we're not going to prize him from Liverpool. I think Raya's cool. If there was the next Alisson on the market or whatever, then why I wouldn't be against it because it makes us better. We let Ramsdale off after Southampton issue last season. Are we really this quick to lash out at Raya for a mistake that didn't end up costing us? There you have it. Raya is fine, but we do need a number 9. Raya is number 1 in clean sheets, which testament to the whole team. Raya is number 1 in claiming crosses in his box. True. So many good things that Raya does. One mistake, and we back to this Raya versus Ramsdale. It's that, man. But that's fans, innit? Like, I liked Ramsdale. It is what it is. You're gone. I'm not 100% convinced on Raya, but I'm 98% convinced. I think his biggest gift and his curse is that, you know, again, I don't want to ruin the video, but Arteta said he sees things before they happen. And I think that proactive nature that he has is a gift and a curse, especially in traditional goalkeeping ways. Like, you look in the modern day, you look at the more traditional goalies, when they're under threat, their first thing is to retreat and run back to their line. It feels like in today's day and age, that's the last line, really. I think Raya's positioning can improve, but he's cool, man. He's cool, man. Would have loved him to get a clean sheet, but he shanked it himself, did it, really? Arteta is gambling on Raya having an Edison-like trajectory. Remember, Edison wasn't great when he started. He might be, or he might just think Raya's the best thing we can get right now. Raya was we got to remember, Ramsdale would not be at this football club if we could have. The summer we signed Ramsdale, it's documented. We wanted to sign Raya. It wasn't possible. I don't even know. Maybe in the months leading up to the summer, we thought that Raya could be done, but it just felt like it became a market opportunity. You go back to last summer, the Bayern thing didn't happen for him. He was linked with Chelsea and Spurs. They didn't happen. Arteta and Edu probably said, you know what, there's something to do there. Obviously, we patterned the deal in a way that it's a loan and then it's turning permanent in the summer. I think Raya's done okay, man. I think he's doing his thing, and it's a shame because I think since the turn of the year, going back to the Liverpool game at Anfield, he's looked very good, really and truly. And I just feel it's unlucky that I think people come to accept he's cool now, and it sparks this debate back up. But football's about debates, isn't it? DG Watkins or Tony Watkins got that striker pace. Been saying Watkins is better than Tony. No one's been hyping Tony. What's it been? He has had injuries, but what's it been, like 9 games without a goal now? Big up Mateta, but forget that, man. Do you think Rashford will be ahead of Martinelli on present form? For the money we'd bring Rashford in for, the fee and the money, he'd have to get significant game time. I like Rashford. I mean, if Arteta could make Rashford what he's projected to be, I'm all for it. I just think, and I don't know any other names and whatnot, but I just feel there's other things to do that we could do that are more value for money. And how old is Rashford? 26. It kind of has to happen now. Kind of like with Kai Havertz up front for us. It kind of has to happen now, if I'm completely honest. Every signing's a risk. If it happened, I'd be all for it. But I don't, as much as, and I like Rashford. You lot know me, always back in Madison's great, man. But you cannot talk to Odegaard at all, man. Saka was moving like a villain yesterday, bro. Was giving it to the crowd at any given opportunity and was ruthless on the attack. You could tell he was begging for that goal. I can't lie, yeah. Watching the game again, you see that goal. Big up Kai Havertz and actually Declan Rice as well. But you see why I like that goal that Saka scored? He's giving it to Havertz, and he's actually shouting at Havertz to play him that ball way sooner than he got it. But when he got that, it's the touch, man. It's the go and watch the watch along. You can hear my reaction. It's the touch, it's the chop, it's the finish, it's the fact that it's Saka, it's a North London derby. Obviously, Saka ultimately is going to live or die by the high standards. 30 plus goal assist contributions. Rival fans don't like Saka because he don't do all this flash in the pan BS. Certain wingers that were signed for 90 odd million do that, and they bagged against Burnley in April. Where have they been? They just hate the fact that Saka has, I don't want to say he's got limited tools, but he's not doing a bag of skills. He's not doing that. You know what Saka's on. Left foot, pass, bang it. And it works. Kind of like Mo Salah. Of course, he's not in that realm. They just hate the fact that we've got a star boy. I'm not against a new number 9, but we have the best attack in the league already. We can only score so many goals. Left 8 and Saliba rotation is my priority. Would you rather a ball retention winger like Grealish / Saka with a powerful, quick striker, in brackets Sesko, or a quick 1v1 winger like Rashford with a facilitator? Good question. It's difficult because I like Zertsky's. I don't think his goal scoring is amazing, but all the other aspects I can see why he's linked with Arsenal. Good question. I'm going to say the second option because I think I'd want Grealish or someone like that. I like ball retention, but I think our squad is missing someone. I know we've got Martinelli, but we're missing that kind of pace, especially if, let's just say, Martinelli and Saka are bang on form. We're playing in a game, they're struggling. It's getting to the last 10 minutes. This new winger comes on, bag of pace. Fullbacks don't want to play against that. DG, Tony ain't got injuries. I think you might be suspended, huh? Now, the Athletic said he's carrying a knock. Rashford at Spurs, to be fair, he's better than Werner. Imagine Rashford winning the EPL with Arsenal same way Van Persie did with Man U. I mean, that's a hell of imagining. If I'm being honest, yesterday was the first time I yelled out loud about our distribution from the back, along with poor patterns of play, too many giveaways all over the pitch. It's true, but the only thing I'll give exception is obviously David Raya. We've gone over that mistake. He has to hold his hands up. But I think David Raya's going long. I think that was intentional from Mikel Arteta. I think that was a game where we said, you know what? Knock it to Havertz. We'll move from there. We know we're quite spot on defensively. Spurs break us down if you break us down. And to be fair, they didn't. They scored, but they didn't break us down. We gave away a pen, Well, Raya broke himself down, essentially. To be fair, well, we did break them down when we scored the Saka finish I just spoke about. But really, it was 5 poor goals. I think, obviously, I think Mikel Arteta will be happy to get 3 points. And I think there'll be some things he's not happy about. It's another game where, if I'm honest, going into half time, just like Aston Villa and just like Chelsea, I don't think we've given the best account of ourselves beyond the obvious. And I've keep saying it. Mikel Arteta hasn't looked happy. Is that just one of those things? Is it a coincidence? Is it just because it's the grinding time of the season? I don't know. But yeah, man, I do feel the first 20 minutes giving the ball away very cheaply, especially our left-hand side. You know, Trossard, I don't know. I don't think Trossard slept. He was moving mad. I think Tomiyasu did a good job in a little battle against Guehi Sesko, but on the ball, horrible. And there was many others that were losing the ball cheaply. It's not just them. Saka is 2 goals away from matching Rashford's best goal-scoring season in the Prem. Saka is so underrated. He is. Nobody seems to rate him. But what I'd say, Saka's doing all right for a left-back, ain't he, man? I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Grealish defo's not a bum. Grealish is defo not a bum. Definitely not a bum. You could argue that, you know, Grealish's game, it is based on ball retention because he does do well at that. But his game, you have to take risks. Them kind of brothers, they have to take risks. And obviously, you can't say people don't take risks at City because they play out from the back. They do mad things and their attackers score goals and do crazy things. But I do think it's been coached out of him a bit. I feel like City is very structured. It's not really an individual thing. If you can shine with your individual quality, great. And that's harmed Grealish. You don't sign Zertsky unless you know you have gunman wingers like Mane and Salah. If you don't have that, don't bother getting him, in my opinion. Martinelli really needs to get some form back. We need everyone firing now. So, the only bad things I could say with this season, my Brazilians, man. My Brazilians, Gabriel Jesus. I can force it. Jorginho, big Gabriel, you're doing your thing. But Martinelli and Jesus, boy, the stocks are finito. Finito. They might even be less than Smith Rose. I think we have 8 players to sell and buy 5, promote 3 youths. Do need a pacey winger. To be honest, Trossard was quite meaty, but might be tired, and it's crazy that Jesus didn't come off the bench. I thought Jesus might come off for Martinelli, but it's, you know, his form, whether it's off the bench or whatever, you're not one of the guys right now. As long as we get the results, who cares? I think you're being harsh saying Martinelli dropped a stinker yesterday, but generally he's been in a harsh bit of form, man. I'm here to tell you, DJ, I don't care. Don't care about what, Stringer Bell? My bad, but next season, Tony will be back. Tony will be back. I just don't think he's Arsenal's cup of tea. Arteta's learning curve this year has been immense. He's learning year in, year out, man. Saka is our best winger. He needs competition. I think competition always brings it out, but I disagree slightly. I don't think Saka needs that. I think generally everyone could benefit from that, but I don't think he needs it. And unless you're better than Saka or levels with him, forget about that. I just think we need to complement the squad. So there is times that Mikel Arteta is comfortable with taking off Saka, with resting Saka and whatnot. But Arteta has banged on about the best players play almost 70 games a season. Saka said it recently. He's going to play. I more want something for the left-hand side because it's not really convincing. Martinelli's my guy. He's not playing to the way Saka plays, and he don't put up the numbers Saka's been putting up. Jesus can play out there, but his form is woeful. I like Trossard, and there's a lot more comfortability in Trossard playing there, but he ain't been amazing all the time. I think the left wing is really where I'm looking at for me. And big up Havertz. I'm not saying to alienate Havertz, but left wing, up front, if we could get different options, don't even have to necessarily be like they're always going to start, but different options. Like Rob said, we do need, unfortunately, with Partey, we need a replacement. Like, if we could get the Partey from last season that was fit for 40 games, great. But based on how long he's been at the club, which has been, 4 years now, 2020? That was the first season of prolonged fitness. So did we do something different in keeping Partey fit, or was that an anomaly? And now we're back to the status quo. I don't know. Need a player who can replace Partey long-term. Think he's shown us what we've been missing since he's got back near full fit. Bro, he gives us Odegaard, Rice, and Partey. Forget about it. It's got the pressing, it's got the ball playing ability, it's got the dynamism, it's got everything that we want. But Arsenal, as good as our season's been, one thing for me is us Arsenal fans, we've been robbed of that midfield trio, man. We got to see it in the Community Shield. Obviously, we saw it against Chelsea, we saw it against Spurs. We got to see it off the bench against City, I believe, or something like that in the league, but we ain't really got that. What winger would you bring in if you could, DG? I mean, if money weren't a thing, just give Real Madrid what they want for Vinicius Junior or Rodrigo. But that's a myth. I mean, if Pedro Neto would stay fit, why not? I wouldn't be against Rafael, but there's a lot that he'd have to be coached with. I don't really know, man. Nico Williams, I think, is incredibly overrated with Arsenal fans, but there's a lot of raw materials I think he could add, if I'm honest with you. I don't know if Waters is going to stay. I don't know if Patino is going to stay. And I think Ethan will get some game time to some capacity next season, man. Would have thought Martinelli was our starting left back yesterday, bro. Was putting in that work, starting to think he could start fullback until Timber returned. You know what? Martinelli owed us a good defensive performance. He's gone to sleep a couple of times, man. Bowen would be lovely in this Arsenal team, as was Glimondo, the left back, as with Bruno Gomares. Wouldn't be against Ollie Watkins, but Villa look like they're going to get Champions League football. They're going to get Champions League football. They've given him a new contract. You're going to have to pay some serious bread. And again, I'm not nothing to do with Ollie Watkins, but value for money, they're going to take us around the houses. So it's probably a myth. I don't think 80 million is getting Rodrigo. And again, these players don't look like they want to leave, man. I don't blame Martinelli. He has to babysit our left back and all the play goes through the right. Gabby never gets an over or underlap. I'd shift him to striker so he plays on the last man and uses his pace. I hear that, but we don't play that way where the striker can kind of not be involved generally in the middle and the defensive third, and we're just going to give you service just running behind. Kai has to drop into midfield and do all of that stuff. Jesus has to as well. So it's never going to be like that. And also for me, Martinelli would have to improve with his back to goal, really. But I'm never giving up on Martinelli. I would love Bowen, man. I think Bowen's sick. I mean, another West Ham player that I believe should be at the Emirates, I don't know why we didn't go for him, would be Mohamed Kudus, man. Like, he can play in a bunch. He would have been lit for us. I can't lie. He would have been lit. Elise would be great. The only thing with Elise is fitness, much like half the people we're linked with. Pedro Neto got serious injury issues. And unfortunately, where Partey is concerned, bro, hella injuries. It's been like 5 years. And I don't want to get caught in that trap of believing my man's going to stay fit. I wouldn't say I would force Partey out the door, but if we could sign someone that's a genuine option like Partey, or someone that is of a suitable standard to partner Declan Rice, if Partey wants to stay and he's fit, fantastic, great stuff. But it is what it is, man. Isak's injury prone, bad boy footballer. But you're right, man. Kudus would have been a sexy signing for us. I'd love to know. Maybe it was a thing where we didn't think we could prize him, but I must admit, Edu, between Kudus, Paqueta, and Bruno Gomes, especially the two Brazilians, one of the three names I said they should have been at the carpet. But it is what it is, man. Hopefully, we can do what we could do and avenge that, really and truly. Keep your thoughts coming, people. It's been a great chat. Time is flying. I just don't want to miss out all the tabs. We've got better things to go over. But I do think Paul Merson's right about this. And unfortunately for Mikel Arteta and what Arsenal are doing, you've just got Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. Like, Pep, just let us control this, man. Like, come on, just let us have this one Prem. You lot can, whatever happens next season happens, innit? We'll focus on the champs. Who said that? Not me. But I think Paul Merson's right. It's a great analogy. It's all about timing. If you're a heavyweight boxing challenger and Mike Tyson's the champion, you aren't winning the world title. It's a bit like that for Arsenal. They're just bang unlucky, but they have to accept they could be the second best at this time. After last season, there are a lot of improvements. We've ran it further, but ultimately there's nothing etched in history to mark this season. And I think it's true. If Man City weren't about, they probably win the league. It's just about timing. And he's right. But unfortunately, they are. This is the reality of such. Big up Mikel Arteta because, he got to 100 wins, people. Fastest managers to 100 wins. It took him 169 games. He's up there with Wenger, Sykes, Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, and Jose Mourinho, as well as Jurgen Klopp. He's got a long way to go before he's mentioned in the same realm as Arsene Wenger, Alex Ferguson, Jose, and Pep. But if you've got some metrics that your name's near, you're doing all right. Jurgen Klopp the same. But if we could bag some trophies, we could paint some serious narratives around Klopp's rebuild at Liverpool. And a shameless thing, Arsenal fans. Let's see what the gaffer had to say about, obviously the North London derby. On the nerves at the end of the game. First time I've heard Mikel Arteta say he's praying. I was praying, and probably Timber was getting the prayers out as well. When Spurs put the ball in our box, it was a really emotional game, a really tough place to come into the stadium and a tough team to play against. We were 3-0 up in control of the game. Then in the second half, we were dominating the game and creating chances. I think at a point in that second half, for me, it felt like Spurs, they did kind of try, but it felt like they were resigned to losing. Unfortunately, with that Raya mistake, it put a bit of optimism. The penalty made it even more nervy. So for a team that's become a lot more street smart and managed the game a lot better, obviously there's always things we could do to improve. And fortunately, we got the 3 points. 3 points first, dissect performance is second in it. So it happens. And then an individual error happens that puts a message in your brain. We were dealing with the situations better. Big up Raya for the reaction to that mistake. Another goal, then it's game on. They have the players and the quality to commit a lot of players forward. We had to suffer and react, and I'm very pleased that we did. And to be fair, one thing I've liked this season, when we've gone against top players, they ain't really done nothing. Like, obviously, Gnabry and Sane did something against us, but it was just the little moments we gave them. Son, we kept him quiet. He put the penalty away. Kane, we kept him quiet. He put the penalty away. Haaland, he's still missing. So we're building. We're building. So, yeah, big up our players. We suffered. We did our thing. Obviously, he's never going to hang out Raya to dry. And there's been many times Raya saved us, really. And even if Raya's mistake, meant we dropped points, it would be extremely frustrating and Raya would have to face the music. But could every player have said they did everything? Because let's be honest, on another day, really and truly, to a degree, I would say Saka. I would say Kai Havertz couldn't have asked anything more. Partey, I think you had a good game. Saliba and Gabriel could have done better in certain aspects, but I think you lot had good games. Could everyone have said that they gave their best account of themselves? Probably not. So I think it's very simple to just blame one person, as frustrating as any individual mistake happens. But it happens. It's part of football. And there's been many times Raya has saved these guys. It's part of football. I don't like the principles we applied at that moment. And after that, it can happen. You misjudge the situation. You try to make the pass and you don't, and you have doubts. They took advantage of that. Then for the penalty was another principle inside the box that you cannot do. It's part of football. But what I loved is that David picked up Gabriel, who was quite heavy. Then he was sensational for the last 20, 25 minutes of the game. That's what I love about the players. Wenger gave him some advice. He said, yes, he gave the advice as well. Try not to make it too hard for yourself. You can't just pretend that you will come here, not suffer, have a comfortable afternoon. That doesn't happen here. It is true, and based on the second half, it wasn't, but it could have been. But we got the 3 points. We had an issue with the high press. We gave so many simple balls away when our distribution wasn't good enough, which we've all said in the comments. The scoreline has an impact, but we looked a real threat as well on the counter. They committed so many players forward, and we killed them for that. That forces you a bit deeper, but we didn't really concede much there. Then in the second half, in certain moments, we should have done better. He's then asked psychologically what this could mean. We are hopefully going to make a great one, and the players can be more convinced. To win here 2 years in a row, we'll make it 3 next year, is extremely difficult. The manner here last year was different. We had to suffer in the second half to win the game. The team has another tool, something else to grab when you come to the bigger stage. You just have to win it. Obviously, Kai Havertz deserves all the praise he gets. He was sensational in every department. I think that's his best game in an Arsenal shirt. I'll be absolutely real. I think Kai was superb. He wasn't 100% today. He was ill before the match and was struggling a bit, but he's still putting a performance that he put in. I thought it was unbelievable today. I mean, I don't doubt he was ill, but being devil's advocate, if I was Mikel Arteta and people, I would have a long memory as a manager. If I remember what you lot said about Kai Havertz, I would use that opportunity to say, yeah, he had an illness. Arteta is less shameless than me. I would have said, yeah, he was a doubt. The physio was saying he couldn't play. He's been playing with an Achilles issue. I would have gassed him even more, really and truly. So yeah, big up Kai and the team. And what the team did to bounce back after disappointments early this month. First of all, it's how much they want it. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Be part of the journey. When you're at the highest possible level, you're going to have disappointments. The margins are so small, so they're not always going to go for you. And then it's how you react to that and face the challenge and an opportunity to be brave. I think this team has a lot of courage and determination to make it happen. Then asked on his faith in the players. I mean, clearly a lot of faith. I do, but in the last few moments, I was doubting them, to be fair. They gave me no reason to. Would they be ready for Sunday? Because they had a lot of minutes and games and emotion. It's been very demanding. But yesterday, I had to stop them in training because they wanted it more. That's a good sign. Gaffy, you're gassing it still, because I know your sessions are probably hell of intent. I bet people can't wait to leave trading session, but I hear it, man. Big up our players and the manager. He then said, I think so. When you win, it's always the case. Last year, we didn't. We went to West Ham. We needed a result, and we missed a penalty, Kyle. And then against Liverpool, we conceded in the 91st minute, and we're not capable, Zinchenko. The judgment is going to be based on the result. If we concede a goal in the last minute and it's 3-3, the margins are so small, so we don't get carried away with yourself. Just understand that we have to be better and the margin for improvement, and go again against Bournemouth, which is going to be really tough. 2 Spanish managers on Saturday going against each other. Finally, he said, 100%. I've seen that the whole season. They've given me reason to believe that every single day they have the motivation, so I'm expecting they'll have a real goal. So yeah, fair enough, man. I'm here for that. Saka has spoken as well, folks. Our star boy, said, I'm delighted. It was worth everything we put in those last 20 minutes. We're happy to leave here with 3 points. It was a roller coaster, but I'm happy. I went over to the bench after the disallowed goal. They told me it was offside, so I was pretty calm and I wasn't really worried about the checks. After that, we managed to score one and then another. We were 3-0 up and we went into half time pretty comfortable. Big credit to all the defenders. They've been amazing all season. We've all seen that, and they're getting their credit. They showed that again. They were solid. When the atmosphere is against you, and it was lovely to see him silence the Lily Whites, is against you and Spurs are piling on the pressure. That's all they do as a football club. They don't win stuff. And they were so calm. David Raya as well made a mistake, but he was so calm after. So credit to him. I'm proud of the boys. And obviously, Saka bagged his 15th goal of the campaign, and he's the first Englishman to do that for us since Ian Wright. If you're next to Ian Wright in anything with Arsenal history, you're on the right trajectory. And people have the disrespect to disrespect this star boy. Imagine how much it would cost if we bought him. But let people keep talking. He's now also the first gunner to score home and away against Spurs since Lacazette in 1920, people. And Lacazette, as well as David Luiz, were very good for our young players at the time. I could tell you that for free. It's nice to score home and away as an Arsenal guy. We love this fixture, and to score here is nice. I'm buzzing. Would love Smith Rowe to play. It's a big relief and a big flow of happiness to go over to the fans and celebrate like that. It was enjoyable for sure. We've got 3 to go, so we need to keep winning. It's Bournemouth at home next, and we're going to do what we can, focus on our game, win our games, and see where it leaves us. what else can you say other than that, people? And again, looking at halftime, I'm not one for this XG crap, but without context, I would say with context, bro, we were winning 3-0 and we had 0.85. They had 1.01. So that tells you maybe being 3-0 up at halftime, maybe we could have done better. Maybe it was a false image. At the end of the day, Postecoglou, Arteta, Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho, Arsene Wenger, half of these managers that I'm saying, and feel free to shout some, they all think of things differently. They all have different philosophies. Football, you need to put the ball in the back of the net. So we did do that, but we need to probably do better. And I do think there are improvements we could have done against Aston Villa. Definitely against Chelsea, regardless of winning 5-0. And I'm happy we've got the bragging rights on London, but there was a lot of things we could have also done better in that game. And it's okay to say that. I know everything has to be white and black. You look at Romero, he generated more than twice as much XG as any Arsenal player this afternoon. For a while, I did think Spurs reacted well to going a goal down. And this is a lovely one to have in it. I did think Spurs reacted well to going a goal down, but really it was just dead balls and crosses. And Romero he hit the post with one of his headers, glanced another one wide. It was probably written in the script that he scored, and plus it was his birthday 24 hours before. So yeah, man. In 2024, Arsenal picked up 40 points out of a possible 45. City have 39 of 45. That just shows how high the standards are in this thing. And it makes you look back to that December period, man. Ifs and buts don't do anything. Thomas Partey completed 90 minutes for us for the first time since August against Palace. And he misplaced just 3 passes. You see what my man gives us, really. Big up Jorginho, but he ain't got the legs like that. We saw in the North London derby at the Emirates, where, Declan Rice come off in the second half, and Jorginho's been a key part to us in his own way, but it's different horses for different courses. Thomas Partey gives us a lot. He's a unicorn in that. He's physically robust, very good passer. I know Arteta said Declan Rice is a lighthouse, and he is. But I think when Partey plays, I see Odegaard and Rice eyes light up, and I think he gives a lot more protection. And I think with Partey, his dynamism, with Raya's passing, with everybody else, we're lit. I said it before, and, while we've been fighting for the title and things, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, I do wonder, had Partey have stayed fit like last season, had Timber have not got that injury, how much better would we have been? Because I think them two really put a spanner in Mikel Arteta's tactical stuff. And speaking of tactical stuff, big up the set piece coach, man. Best in the league at that stuff, man. Pep Guardiola said it's quite similar to what happened in the past with Liverpool. We draw a game, we're not going to win the Prem, bro. This bold genius has got something for us. David Raya has spoken, people, and I like his mentality when he said he wanted to win everything, which we haven't been able to. And how he reacts to mistakes, man. Listen, mistakes happen. The only time I get peed off with a player making a mistake is if it happens 10 times, or if you cowered away. He's fronting up to the music. He said, the man himself said, mistakes are part of football and you learn from them. What he, in brackets, Arteta said was just about character, and I showed after the mistake. I thought, and you collected a lot of crosses and relieved pressure for us. I thought I was mentally very strong and I just forgot about the mistake. I just carried on playing my game and tried to help the team as much as possible. I think I showed that in the last 20. We gained control until I made a mistake for the first goal. We had to bounce back, and I thought the character from the team, everybody was willing to defend and to even get one more goal to settle the game, but we couldn't, and we gave away a penalty. It's 3-2, and the last few minutes was a bit more shaky for the people outside, but for us, that's our job. I really, really enjoyed that challenge to keep the ball out the net and trying to help the team as much as possible on crosses. We showed great character collectively, and Chelsea, Spurs' creativity is mad overrated. It's just crosses and vibes, really. They don't really you get it, people, anyways. So yeah, big up Raya on that one, man. He then said, I like challenge and I don't feel under pressure. I feel like that when things are pressure, it's an opportunity to show what you're capable of. He then said, we cannot focus on other teams, because if you do that, you lose your focus on yourself. You don't start playing the same way. You have to focus on yourself and the team, on what you can control. If you focus on things that you cannot control, things are not going to go well. Spurs fans, take heed of that. It's a massive confidence boost beating Spurs. Not really. This is another small team, especially the games that we won away from home. That shows the character of the team. True, it really does. Ake has said that they were watching our game in the same way Saka said they were going to watch City's. We have won 5 and lost just one of our last 7 North London derbies. Long may that continue. Kai Havertz has both scored and assisted in 4 different Premier League games this season versus Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brighton and Spurs all this year in 2024. The most by an Arsenal player in a single league campaign since Alexis Sanchez also did that 4 times in 2016-17. Long may it continue. Ian Wright bigged up Bukayo Saka for giving verbal to the Spurs fans. We've gone over that. I can't believe, that is a foul. Playing with it, taking out the Velcro, that's a foul. Listen, that's the same way I look at Kirill last season where he's messing around with his boot. Idiot thing, man. You can't say that's a foul. Big North London derby where Spurs are fighting for top 4. Most important, North London derby could spoil our day. And a foul for that. I know keepers are protected, but get out of here, man. That's soft. Again, we've already gone over Mikel Arteta's comments with Raya. The man himself said we need to stay focused on the season because of what's at stake. We really want to get the job done. And again, you know, we're fighting for a title in the second year in a row. Let's close these tabs. Spurs have kept just 1 clean sheet in 15 Premier League matches. I thought they said their centre-backs are better than ours. And we also won back-to-back games at Shite Hart Lane since 1988. So a bit of more history for the Gunners, man. We knew Son would score against us. And again, a lot was said about, oh, Spurs got a break. They're going to be on this. They're going to be on that. Arsenal have played a total of 396 minutes and 44 seconds since Spurs last kicked the ball competitively. 3 outfield players have played every single minute during this period, which was Rice, Saliba and Gabriel. So credit to the boys individually and collectively. Just shows, you know, if you're procrastinating, what's going to go on. Arsenal are the first team in top flight history to win 3 London derby matches by 5+ goals in a single season. Spurs, Chelsea, come get your chains back. West Ham, I've got nothing but respect for your club, but your fans are piping up, so you lot can come and do that as well. In relation to transfer news, allegedly, Arsenal youngster Charlie Patino reportedly has no intention of playing for the Gunners again while Mikel Arteta remains manager of the club. Bit strong language. I just think he reckons he might not be able to break through. Apparently, he has interest from Juventus and Roma. Obviously, he's not really playing at Swansea at the moment, but he's had a productive loan spell there and at Blackpool. With us wanting to bring in a midfielder and the options we have, probably makes sense to keep it moving, really and truly. I don't know if Juventus and these clubs make sense, but fair enough, man. I do think him, Mika Beref, probably are going to be sold. Romano has spoken about our potential midfield targets. He said Arsenal continue to be linked with midfielders ahead of this summer transfer window, with Fofana of Monaco, the latest name circling in some Arsenal media outlets. Pardon me, apologies. I can guarantee that for Fofana, there's a lot of interest, but nothing concrete at this point with Arsenal or any club. Fofana will decide his future in the summer, not now. So nothing concrete is happening at the moment. Arsenal have some priorities in midfield. I can confirm the names I mentioned in recent months, such as Douglas Luiz and Zubimendi. I've been impressed with Fofana's performances, so I'm not surprised his name's making headlines, but that's just normal speculation that we always get at this time of the year. So, yeah, people, he probably will go off to the Euros with France. Monaco are trying to get Champions League qualification, so we'll have to watch that. It's funny because we were talking about Carlos Belenda, who used to play for Leo and is now at Brighton, and the 20-year-old has just got his feet under the door at Brighton. He's apparently being monitored by Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United. I like him. I don't think he's the best on the ball, but I like him a lot. And we were linked with him when he was at Lille, so it makes sense. But you've just got to Brighton, so I can't see that happening. Apparently, Sesko's agent was watching a Chelsea game, and apparently he was also at the Arsenal versus Chelsea game. Now, that could be something to do with Chelsea. He could just be there. Who knows? And I'm a big fan of Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko's proposed move to Arsenal could be on the cards after a major transfer clue was spotted on Instagram, people. David Ornstein has claimed that we are interested in him. As he said, you know, these long names could not have a future at Arsenal beyond the summer. He's been linked with us. His agent was at the Emirates watching, you know, the games and whatnot. Can't read too much into that, really. Apparently, this is said he could be tempted to reject us, people, and remain at Leipzig. I mean, if we come for you, why? I don't think you will say no, but it's not too far-fetched to assume that you could stay where you currently are. Jorginho has reportedly already decided not to sign a new contract with Arsenal as he looks set to join Juventus on a 3-year deal instead. I mean, that could mean Partey stays. We don't know what's going on with Jorginho. His agent hasn't talked up not staying at Arsenal, but hasn't entirely shut the door on other things. We'll have to see, man. The 32-year-old, we know Arsenal want to give him a new deal. Probably need to sign a midfielder anyways. Really like his performances this season, but I could understand if he wants to go back to Italy or try a new adventure. Once again, Juventus and Roma are monitoring young Charlie Patino. Let's start closing tabs because I'm confusing myself. If I'm honest with you lot, what have we got here? We've probably gone over a lot of this, people. Juventus wants Jorginho. Arsenal interested in Kobasi. We're not getting him. We are definitely not getting that young 17-year-old. I would love him, but he's playing first-team football. We'd all love Kimmich at the carpet. What's this? Arsenal vote for spending cap. Hey, big up Arsene Wenger. Big up Arsene Wenger. We've been told by Mikel Sylvester to sign either Osimhen or Watkins. We're the favourites to sign Georgi Sudikov from Shakhtar Donetsk. Some people say stay far away from that after the Mudryk saga. We've gone over Javi Guerrero previously, a Valencia midfielder who's been linked with Arsenal, Barca and Real Madrid. We've gone over the Romano thing. We've spoken about Patino and Sesko, and my man Guehi's asking price allegedly is 55 million, which is not that expensive really and truly, but I can't see Arsenal spending that on a centre half where we probably need to spend the bag in midfield and obviously up front. Arsenal have been linked, according to reports in Spain, with Xavi Simons. I think Arsenal fans would love that, but PSG would be silly to let him depart the carpet, man. I mean, Dan Rigg is sick. If Arsenal and Spurs are interested in him, follows me on Instagram as well. Big him up. Would love to get involved. He sourced us. What? Last year, I'm sure for their under-18s, he sourced us. Amarin's future could obviously impact whether Gyökeres is going to stay there as well. We were linked last week with Matoma. I don't really believe that, as were we with El Nouri. So draw whatever conclusions you want there, folks. Once again, Arsenal have been linked with Mark Guehi. The 23-year-old has been out of action since February. There are rumours he has no intention of staying at Crystal Palace, and he's been linked with Arsenal, Man United and Chelsea. Now, if I was him, I'd back myself to start at Chelsea. I'd back myself to start at Liverpool. Canate better than Saliba, they said. And Man United. At Arsenal, I could understand if you want to stay in London and you want to sign for us. But are you going to disrupt Saliba or Gabriel? I don't know. But it's not always that thing. Maybe you could just needed to be rested. Santiago Jimenez, who was linked with us and it's kind of gone away now, apparently was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I don't know, but to watch the North London derby, maybe that's to make a move to Spurs. Maybe was invited on behalf of Edu, or maybe just got a ticket. The Mexican has 23 goals in 45 appearances in all comps this season, people, which he's already bettered his term from last season, which I'm sure, boy, whatever you say about someone, if we need a striker and you got 23 goals and 43 appearances, we're going to listen, aren't we? I hope you saw what was going on, man. You know, you're going to have to try to take Havertz's position there. At 8 p.m., people, tactical analysis settings as well. So with that being said, it appears that seems to be all of the talking points surrounding our football club. But because I'm so nice, let's spin the block and see what's going on. I loved the fact that, you know, Kai Havertz kind of pushed Maddison, if I'm honest. What's this with Fofana? He's spoken about his future. Let's do the last hour. Gone over that. What's this? See what's going on there. See what's going on there. See what's going on here. What's this? We know we want Bruno Gomares. He will make the final decision on his future. We know he's got £100 million release clause. Can't see Arsenal running to do that. What have Arsenal been linked with Barcelona? The same Kabasi. We got done by the clickbait there, didn't we? Fofana's spoken about his future. He's refused to rule out a move away from Monaco in the summer, admitting his future could hinge on whether or not the club secure Champions League qualification. Been linked with AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico and PSG. Said, we haven't yet spoken about it with the sporting director. He will allow me to finish the season so that there aren't too many things in my head. Then if I go to the Euros with the French national team, we'll speak about it upon my return. We haven't dwelt on it. Boy, as I said, we haven't dwelt on it. We'll see what happens when we come back for pre-season. He has just a year remaining on his deal, people. We should have signed him during his Strasbourg days. You can see videos on my YouTube channel from when he was over them sides. You know, DG should be a scout still. But yeah, it appears, apologies, that is all that really is in relation to Arsenal. But yeah, man, I was airing you lot. What you lot saying in the comments? There have been shirt leaks. I've seen it, man. You guys should look into Moukoko. Think he needs a bit too. I don't think he's ready, man. Adding Yemi settings. Man United can have Guehi if they let us pattern Elise. It would all be love. I hear that. Who wouldn't want Camavinga, Camstar? But the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, man. It's sold absolutely separately. Sesko is too raw. Don't really move me. Arteta can iron those out, man. You know, 18 months to 2 years, everyone be waxing lyrical. My dream midfield signing would be Chouameni. Highly unlikely, but if we had him, that's the party upgraded replacement. You need to grab them guys when they're at Bordeaux or potentially even Monaco. Now that we've secured Champions League, Edu can get the barbecue started. Not yet, man. Like, we need to try and bring home this title. We've got a serious manager, man. The glory days are coming. Everyone loved the Ish House footballer until Ben White did it. And I have no sympathy for no one, because when Newcastle, big up Newcastle, but when they used to just mash up our players, which they have done in the last 2 years, everybody had something negative to say. But everybody loves something until my football club do it. And I don't like to do that because people behave like we're the boys and girls that cry wolf. But it's true. People can kick off Bukayo Saka's legs. Lord, forgive us if we do something. Spurs will throw the City game. It's a worry. Up to David Moyes on the last day. David Moyes, West Ham and them, man, ain't going to do nothing, man. At this match, every game is a final. Amen, man. What do you make of Liverpool's new coach, Arne Slot? Seems like a good coach. His philosophy seems decent, but I hope he stinks out the place. Shout out the graphics, done, man. Yes, peeps. Show DG some respect. Hit the likes. It's free. Stringer Bell, appreciate that. Surely Walcott bagged more than 15 in a season. I can't lie. We'd have to take that somewhere, man. Isn't it time you changed your name from Deluded Gooner to Pragmatic Gooner? We're too far to turn back, too legit to quit, man. We've done it, man. Big up Ruby Rank, because you're always here. Luck didn't go our way yesterday. Thought we played all right and deserved the draw. Poor on set pieces. Should have had a penalty. We missed Ndoggy. Got some pride back second half, though. We moved. Fair enough, my dude. You did miss Destiny and Ndoggy, if I'm honest with you. Probably. Do you know what? It's a bit sad because obviously Davies won the pen. I do think the only thing Ben Davies did really poorly, like the collective whole team, is when Havertz scored. He's too narrow. He's not aware of where Bukayo Saka is, but I think, you know, I do think football's quite basic in that if I say Saka had a good game, that means Ben Davies was terrible. I think considering what some Spurs fans might have said about Ben Davies and fear and whatnot, obviously Saka got the better of him, or Saka still impacted the game, but I don't think he got destroyed. I don't think his credibility is on the floor. I don't think, you know, he's ahead of Destiny and Doggy, but I think he was one of the better players. Can we get a standing ovation for Benjamin White? This kid's a shithousery, is pure class. He runs himself into the ground every week. End and out, always gives a 7 to an 8 out of 10 performance. I'm not going to lie to you, you know. If we're talking about player of the season, Benjamin White's in the debate. For me, Gabriel's in the debate. People can say what they want. The numbers are there. Saka's in the debate. Declan Rice is in the debate. Oh, they give it to Kai Havertz. But maybe. And to be fair, Saliba as well. We all wanted Kudus, man. Not going to lie, people are disrespecting Martinelli too much. He's a good player. He's just having a bad season. Plus, with Arteta being more pragmatic, it's affected his game. I hear that. But, as you know, I do think not getting that left 8, inconsistencies with who's playing left back, they've contributed. But at the same time, Martinelli, like everyone, you have to take accountability for yourself. And that's what's been the issue, in my opinion, man. So, yeah, it is what it is. Sesko would be lit, but we'll see if it happens. But Guehi makes no sense. But let's roll on this weekend and Summer Eddie sort it out. Amen. We missed him, but but injuries happen, as you said, man. Bruno Gomares for 100 million is insane when De Jong and Fofana reportedly combined prices less than that. No more 100 million signings unless clear, world class, in my opinion. I hear that, but I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a taste of the high life. You know, I'm forcing it with Kai Havertz, 65 million more, Declan Rice. I'm getting a taste of this stuff, man. Like, just bring me whatever you want to bring me, man. It's time for Arteta to have champagne, man. It's time, man. It's time for us Arsenal fans to enjoy. I reckon Chelsea will get Sesko. I think there's an admiration for him, but I don't think Arsenal will get him. But you never know, because 1 minute it's Tony, then it wasn't Tony, then we want a winger, not a striker. Now Kai Havertz is changing the thoughts to more of a project striker. It all depends, man. The rumours are going left and right. What the club are actually doing internally, we'll never know until obviously we see people holding shirts and doing all of those kind of things, people. So it is what it is in that regards, man. It's been a lovely show, but we've been here for an hour and 12 minutes. I don't want to bore you lot, people. I'm going to go and finish editing this Raya video. As usual, appreciate you lot's talking points, you lot's engagement, your consistent support, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever. Make sure you leave a comment when the video's done. You lot stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Against this right back, Charlie's definitely.
Like